If you own a higher-end luxury motor coach, then you're going to want to watch this segment, because when we come back, I'm going to introduce you to this guy right here, and we're talking Hearthside Grove. So stay tuned, because that starts right now on the Gadget Guru. I'm in Petoskey, Michigan, and for those of you who might not be familiar with this area, it's in the northern part of Michigan, and I have to tell you, I've been here the past month, and the weather during the summer is absolutely gorgeous. Now, right here is KIRK Rose, and KIRK's one of the owners, I believe you own this place with your brother,
yes,
of the Hearthside Grove Motorcoach Resort. Now, I guess let's just go on and just start by asking, what is Hearthside Grove?
Hearthside Grove is one of the premier luxury motor coach resorts in the nation. It is a vision of what my brother and I had come to life, to create a place for these people that have motor coaches to come enjoy the beautiful area, the surroundings, and to actually own a piece of this paradise we call Petoskey.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. First of all, Petoskey, as stated, is in northern Michigan. How many lots are on your property?
We have 165 lots. We can expand to about 80 to 100 more, but right now we have 165.
And how long has this been open?
This is, we officially started in 2007. The whole concept of the development started as a mobile home park. So it wasn't really RV in particular, and they were actually doing homes. So that's why a lot of our site sizes became, in the concept and design, are so large. Our smallest lots are around 6,500 square feet. Largest lots go up to 17,000 square feet. So it started out as that when we started with 40 lots, and then have grown consecutively every year.
You talk about the size, and I have to tell you this, again, I'm not the most seasoned motorhome traveler. I've only been owning a bus or two buses for about a year now. But I have to tell you, your lot sizes, it's more than impressive. And in many cases, they're 3 and 4 times the size of what you'd find in a typical, even a higher end motor coach resort. Let's go more into the lot sizes, because you have different sections here. Can you tell us some about that?
Sure. We started, that typical lot size was 6,500 square feet. We started with a 20 by 70 driveway, and that allowed people the flexibility on the lot, and then we went to brick pavers from concrete and developed it from there. We've graduated in our first phase, we have 141 lots with a smaller 200 square foot bungalow, and pergolas, outdoor kitchens. We have natural gas on every lot for outdoor fire features and fire walls and fire pits and all kinds of things, thus Hearthside and fire.
We figured this is a good background for today.
And so we ended up, as things evolved, we have outdoor pergolas, and we evolved into what we call now Phase 5, which is 24 lots, where we have 880 to 1,100 square feet structures, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, whatever someone wants to put inside, and it has 32 feet of glass on the side that allows to open right up like sliding walls. And then we do we're doing a detached 1-car garage, 22 feet long, 12 feet wide.
You need to have the larger lot, obviously, to be able to do that.
It's about 65 feet wide, 70 feet wide. We just changed the setbacks a little bit, and we left the buildings 22 feet wide by either 40 or 46 feet long. But it still has a nice feel, and we kept the height to not get in the way with the feel of Hearthside with our winding roads.
What is the height restriction on the bungalows?
Our height is around 13.5 feet. We have a flat roof version, and we have a hip roof version.
So basically, you could do your living or even a bedroom area on the first floor, and you can do one of those half.
Like a loft.
Yeah, like a loft.
Some people have done a loft.
They have small twin beds. Let's say a grandchildren's or children's type of room up top. Now, what determines what size structure can go on a specific lot? Are there setbacks, or what are the rules here?
We have some basic guidelines, a front and rear yard setback off the road, and then other than that, we give people the flexibility of on the smaller ones, you can obviously turn the building a little bit more and move it around. If you don't want a pergola, maybe you put it all the way towards the back or towards the street, depending on if it's a back-in or pull-in. Out of the 141 of the smaller bungalows, we have just a myriad of different kinds of things that people have done. The creativity has been amazing.
Now, one thing, and I have to point out, and I think this is important for people, because if you ever come up here, I'm wondering, and put your comments below if your first impression is the same as mine. The moment I came through the gates, remember I was here in August 2017, the first thing I noticed was green space and a lot of water.
Yep.
Tell me about the design of this, what the theme of the resort is.
You know, the heart and soul behind, as we've developed, has not been maximized for profitability and just dollars and cents. My brother and I have taken a lot of care in even keeping the roads curving so you don't feel like you have a half-mile straightaway drag strip down the back. Mm-hmm. You don't see that there's another 30 or 40 from the previous 30 or 40 lots. We've tried to separate that with trees and landscape. The green space is really important, and we've brought in some different water features. We've had a large stream that's about 500 feet long where everyone's facing. We've also done about an acre pond in the back that allows people to be pulled in around that water feature, which has been great. We have owners that the lots are big enough. On the corner, they have a 13,000 square foot lot. They created their own pond right on their lot. So the water it's just because we're surrounded by the Great Lakes. I think the water really brings that in.
There's fire pits. There's people have created waterfalls, park-like settings. It seems from the parks I've been to, everyone kind of has a feel to it. I was at another one up in North Carolina recently. They're here in the mountains. It has a different kind of view. Here, you have a lot more privacy in your lot. Mm-hmm. I've seen people entertaining, and there's plenty of space to do it. There's no cramping in there. Now, how many of your lots have been sold, or what's owned by the developer, what's owned by the homeowners?
So we have currently, we actually this past year, in the first 141 lots, we hadn't finished 6 before. We ended up adding those, so that added 6 to our inventory. But until then, we really only had 3 lots left. So in our first phase, we have I think 8 lots left right now currently. And in the newer phase where the larger buildings are, I think we're down to 7.
Okay, tell me how, because I wrote, if we're talking resales, mm-hmm. that can go, whatever the seller determines, the price, what their target price is.
Right.
From the developer's standpoint, on lots that are on the market today, and let's start first with the smaller lots, and trust me, the smaller one's not that small. On the smaller lots, what are the prices today if someone were to come in and purchase versus the larger lots?
Like the new ones we just built are around 100,000. Mm-hmm. They're a concrete lot, not brick pavers. In 100,000 to about 400 in that first phase, the 141 lots with a resale.
So that would be 400 improved.
400
100 non-improved. What do you
Right.
get for $100,000 on the smaller lot?
You're getting basic landscape, irrigation, grass, the patio, hookups, everything's ready to go. Mm-hmm. We actually have done, as we've grown, we've done a lot of pre-thinking, so when someone goes to run utilities, they're not digging up or destroying so we have hookups already underground. There's a lot underground ready to go.
So basically, if somebody buys an unimproved lot today, they pretty much can pull on and park on it and camp on it immediately. They just won't have
Exactly.
exterior bedrooms.
And it's not
or whatever.
required on any of our lots. It's not required to build it out, and we've seen over time, as people are starting to retire or not retired, they just purchase now, and then say 5 years from now they start to gradually build out or build the whole thing.
Okay, how about the larger lots that you can build these, I guess up around 1,000 square feet of air-conditioned space?
Yep.
What's the price structure on
We
those?
start around 189, and then they go to about over $1 million, depending on the build out. I mean, sky's the limit on a build out. I think you can tell around here, whatever you can design, you can do. So.
Okay, so basically, when we look at the smaller lot, around 100,000, you can
Yes.
put approximately a 200 square foot air-conditioned structure. The codes here do allow that to be a guest bedroom.
You bet.
Okay, now you have an HOA here,
Yep.
and I guess, well, before we get to the fees, have you turned this over to the homeowners yet? Because I know that's always, no matter where you go, I've lived in developments for quite some years. That's always kind of a chore.
Sure.
Is that been accomplished yet, or what do you have to achieve to turn this over?
We have turned over the first 141 lots, and then when we went to the larger building, we had to start a new condominium because of the time constraints of a condominium development. We started a new condominium that still has a couple years left to develop. So we still are. My brother and I are still running the Phase 5 section with the larger buildings, and Condo 1 did take over about 3 years ago. Now.
Okay, let's talk about fees. You know, every association has fees. Let's talk about the price, whether it's monthly or quarterly, and what it includes.
Okay, the quarterly on Phase 1 is $717 a quarter.
Per quarter.
Per quarter. And then
so
it's
just under $300,000
slightly less
per year.
Yep,
okay.
Slightly less in Phase 5, where the larger buildings are. And the big difference is there's not as much common area, as well as the cable.
You know, that's kind of odd that how you say that is that in developments I've been in, it's typically a pro rata based on the square footage of the lot you own. Here, it's not that. It's based on the square footage of what needs to be maintained in terms.
Sure.
So landscaping is the
well, the
lion's
dues.
share.
Yeah, the dues would be determined by how much road do you have, how much green space, how many fountains and water features to take care of. That's all lumped into each condominium's dues. The cable TV is one big variable. Condo 1 does have a contract for cable TV because of the larger units. When people put 5 TVs in a really nice bungalow that's 80-inch TV, they want their own cable service, or sometimes they're running it from the bus over to there.
Now you do have common area, and I believe it extends to the residential side. What's the story with Wi-Fi here? That's a question everybody wants to know. If I come in and rent, what do you get for Wi-Fi?
So Wi-Fi, what we've done as of just this year, the Condo 1 decided not to continue Wi-Fi park-wide because the technology keeps changing month after month, really. And the demand for streaming and online has changed immensely. And last year I did a little test market out back in our rental lots, and I did a setup that I created that allows every site to have high-speed internet, 60 meg. And when you pull in, you can stream video to your King Air or bus or whatever it is, and no bandwidth problems whatsoever.
And I tell you, the lot I rented has a bungalow on it. I keep wanting to call them cottages or casitas, a bungalow on it. And it had dedicated Wi-Fi that was included. And I've uploaded probably about 45 minutes worth of video on it, and it went up. It went up well.
Yep.
I didn't have any issues, no need of it crashing and having to rebroadcast back over.
Yep.
Now, we didn't talk about the amenities. I notice you have 2 clubhouses here.
Yes.
Can you give us the background on that?
Sure. We started the North Clubhouse, we call it, which is about 35, maybe 4,000 square feet. So
and that's
smaller.
the one that you first see when you come into the entrance.
It is, and there's a pool right behind. That's our one pool that we do have. And that clubhouse was something that we just outgrew pretty fast with the type of entertaining that we like to do with groups of people, and became small to put 80 or 100 people in at once. And as we developed, we started and we built this clubhouse that we're sitting in that's about 18,000 square feet.
And I have to tell you, this thing really has a wonderful look to it. When I first came in, again, I'm one on first impressions. It has, I guess if you're into architecture, kind of a transitional look to it.
Craftsman style is what all of our architecture is kind of modeled around.
It's modern, but it has a good tradition that fits this area of the country. It's very, very nice. Now tell me about what you have inside this large facility.
So in the smaller clubhouse, we have library, we have a fitness room, a kitchen and things. But in the larger clubhouse, it's just a little bit bigger scale, but we have a bar in the corner, we have billiards, we have the sitting area over here and off to the side, laundry facilities. There's a movie theater that seats 44 that opens up actually to a presentation kitchen, we would call that, or a kitchen that even owners and guests use to have the feel of being home, to cook their favorite meals that they can't really do in the coach that easy. And we do a lot of cooking classes in there. We also have a fitness room and then an aerobics room as well, and then a massage room off to the side.
Now, because of the weather that's characteristic with Michigan or the northern U.S.,
Yep.
I'm going to assume that the Motorcoach season here, the active season, is probably 3 to 4 months, maybe June, if you're stretching it through September. What sort of events do you have for the homeowners or visitors
Yep.
to your resort?
Just prior to your arrival in July is a really big month, obviously the holiday and so forth. We string out, we have great relationships with manufacturers of coaches, dealerships all over the country, and they have all kind of staggered throughout the summer. They'll come in and highlight products and sell them. They park in the parking lot and bring people together, and they do a lot of events, and they bring in food and music, and we do our own food and music as well. But the cooking classes that we do, there's so much. We'll bring in the local restaurants, and they'll do a cooking series, we might call it. Mm-hmm. So they come in once a month and they do a cooking class. Spartan Chassis has come, and they'll go through and I think they sat down with 30, 40 guys and gals, and they showed them what they needed to know about their Spartan and try to get them to come back to do their thing.
And actually, I can understand why the manufacturers go to the resorts, because it's where their customers are.
It's where the people are.
Yep. I've already talked to people, not only this, but other resorts I've visited, that have traded or purchased a new coach while they're there on vacation.
Sure.
And it's kind of an interesting thing. Let's talk about rentals. Now, I'm here on a rental. You have a maximum stay, I believe, of 21 days. Tell me how your rental program works.
Rental program, that's instituted so as we sell, we have fewer and fewer lots, and instead of trying to tie it down to someone that might be there months and months at a time, for our rental, we appreciated the turnover. That's why we've had that 21 days to allow people to come get exposed to what Hearthside has to offer.
It's really the only way. When I go to the different shows or events, around the country, I'll see that your people have booths there. That's how I got to meet, Heidi and Dean. And one thing that enticed me to get here. But if you're booked, you can't get in. So I can understand that.
Yeah.
On the rentals, I went through your office to rent, but I'm noticing that rentals can also be obtained directly from the lot owner.
Yep. So in Condo 1, in that first condominium, it isn't tied down for anything to restrict an owner to rent their own lot. So if they are renting through us, we do that 21 days. But if a friend says, I'll rent to you and you can stay the whole season, they're able to do that.
Okay. But if you go through the house, it's 21 days.
Right.
And that keeps them fresh, and it gets more people to be able to experience it and possibly consider buying. Now, you said restrictions, and you and I discussed this, and I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. If I go to the forums, there's some, I don't know what the backstory is, and it's none of my business, but I have to ask you, you have a 10-year rule here.
Yes.
Let's set the record straight. Let's hear it from you. What's the deal here?
Well, it goes it's 10-year rule, but it goes on to describe, and this is in our bylaws, so it goes on to describe that it's also a pride of ownership condition. And I guess you do live in a condominium development with a house, but you understand that when we're talking about luxury, with a capital L here, at Hearthside, trying to make it the best it can, and for values of your lot, there needs to be some check and balance so that there is a way to, I guess, decipher what would be the right coach to have here. So we do have owners that own older units than 10 years, and it is possible to do that. It's possible for you to come visit if you have a coach. We do ask people to send a picture. It's sort of our due diligence or our responsibility to do that. But we still do allow people to come here.
What advice would you give somebody? Let's say they have a 15 or 17-year-old Prevost that they feel is in good condition.
Sure.
What's the process to be able to come up here and to rent?
They call to make a reservation, and they'll just be asked, is it 10 years or newer? And if not, most likely they would be asked if they could send a picture along. It's just a check and balance, just to know. I mean, I know when riveted sides came in, and I know when that happened. But if it's 25 years old and it's like a everyday and like not your coach that you've restored, it might not be the right fit. You know, it might not have a $25,000 new paint job or something. But it is hard to come up with that exact determination. But we do ask people just to provide us with the photo. But we do allow people here.
You know, when I discussed this with KIRK just a couple of days ago, and I told him, this is my actual story, that when I first received my 1957 flexible Starliner, I went to 2 different resorts that are, you know, within 50 miles of my home. And one of them was St. Lucie West in Port St. Lucie, Florida, and the other is Aztec, just west of Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. The process I went through, I have videos online, of course, and I sent them a little 4 or 5 minute video of the Starliner. And I first contacted them by phone and said, hey, I have a 60-year-old bus. Well, at the time it was 59. And I said, I know you're going to say no, but before you do, can you take a look at the video? In both situations, they contacted me back within 48 hours. They had to check with the board. And it was always yes. In fact, at Aztec, they put me right front and center. Yep. And I figured, well, you know, that was a little bit too much. But I can understand where you're coming from. Okay, if you want to send a message to the people who are just not saying flattering things because they feel that their coaches would be rejected, what's a good message you could send to them?
Come visit Hearthside.
And well,
make a reservation. You know,
and come in the
call
summer.
Call and ask me. Send me a photo. Talk to me about it. You know, I think that's, if the desire is to come here and enjoy yourself in Petoskey, Michigan, and to enjoy Hearthside Grove, and your bus is older than 10 years, then just give us a call and talk to us.
You know, I think that's very fair. Now, the last topic I want to hit here is the area. Quick up here, there's a link to Mountain Falls. It is just absolutely gorgeous. However, it is remote located.
Right.
It does require mountain roads to get in and out. Tell us about what you have within a 10 or 15 minute drive of this resort.
10 or 15 minutes. You know, this area, Petoskey area, has been a vacation destination for 130 years. Mm-hmm. People have come here to enjoy the clean, fresh air and the lakes. But around us, and what's developed over the years, is just this destination where you can go do anything you want. Restaurants, shopping, groceries, I mean, anything you want is within boating. Yeah. You have fishing, you have skydiving, you have airport that's close by. If you have your own airplane, you have everything that's so close. And in our realm of luxury Motorcoach resorts and our clientele, the food and the dining, the wineries and the beer, you know, breweries, it's amazing how much is right here. Golf, we have more than 2 pages in the phone book, you know, which people use that anymore, but there's so much golf in the area. It's amazing.
You know, I was talking to somebody who, you know, I guess used to live here, and mm-hmm. he would say that they would even come up during the wintertime because there were some snowmobiling places.
Oh, yeah. And we do have the new, the larger structures in the back. We do allow even people that have in the phase 1, we allow them to come up and use their bungalow in the wintertime. Mm-hmm. And in the back, it's a little nicer with the 1,100 square feet and a garage. But we have owners that have snowmobiles. We have owners that like to snowshoe and go skiing. We have 3 really nice ski resorts within 14 miles of us here at Hearthside. A couple are only 6-7 miles north of us here in Harbor Springs. Boyne Resorts is the name, but they have tremendous golf and skiing as well. So it really can be. It depends on where you grew up, how much you can handle. But we have owners that bring their motorhomes and coaches up in the wintertime.
Okay, if people have questions mm-hmm. or want more information, whether it's on rentals or purchases, sure. What do they do?
Give us a call. Phone number is 231-347-0905.
And your website?
It's hearthsidegrove.com.
Okay. KIRK, I want to thank you very much. Again, this has just been a gorgeous day. The weather up here, mid-70s, you know, during the day. Gets down in the, let's say, mid-60s in the evening. This is August 2017. Coming from Florida, as I'm on my summer escape to humidity tour,
dream.
this
Yes.
thing has just been a great
It's a
destination.
dream. Follow
And
the blue sky.
the people have been very nice. It's a wonderful surrounding. Again, thank you so much for your
Glad to
time
have you.
and for sitting down with me. And remember, the easiest way to keep posted of my new posts, stories, and videos is just simply like us on Facebook at facebook.com/thegadgetguru. And if you like this video, you're probably going to like this one. And if you like that one, you're going to like this one too. That's it for now. I'm the Gadget Guru, Indy Parr.